Good morning, good morning, good morning on a very, very hot day. It is already 36 degrees here in Perth, and we've had a week of it. It was 41 degrees on Tuesday. So welcome to my live video. Hopefully you're sitting in a nice, cool place, cool air-conditioned place, especially if you're in Perth. I might have to find a swimming pool later. So welcome to my video. Apologies for not being here last week. I had a bit of a situation. My car got rifled through and the remote control got taken for my garage door, and my garage door is now my studio door, and that leads into my house and all sorts of things. So I did need to deal with that. I'm Karen Frankel, if you haven't met me before, and I'm here to talk to you about all things drawing. It relates to art in general, and I'm here to dispel the myth that it is only for creative people, because I believe that everybody is creative and everyone can learn to draw. And I've been teaching people for over 15 years now, probably close to 19 years. And I think I've proven my point. And everyone is here to enjoy themselves, and that's my primary purpose, is the pleasure that you take in what you do. Today we're talking about a subject that often comes up in our classes, and that is, what is teaching? Oh, actually, cheating is an anagram of teaching, so I completely didn't need to say that. Maybe we do need to have a discussion on what is teaching. I hope I don't trip over that word all through the video, but we are talking about what is cheating. Are you cheating when you are using different methods, different techniques, when you are drawing things in particular, but also when you are painting, all of that sort of thing. Now, I am using my computer once again this morning, and I'm hoping to be able to see if people post any comments, so I can see somebody is there watching me. Hello. And my camera is no longer on mirror, so I have to work out, yes, that's the side. That's now opposite. I'm not looking at a mirror anymore, and I am indeed right-handed. So hopefully I'll see your comments come up. Give me a thumbs up. Wave, ask me any questions, because I'd love to interact with you during the video, as well as afterwards. If you are watching this on the replay, it's always nice to see that you're here. So if you could put hashtag replay in the comments, I would love to see you there. Okay, is it cheating? I did receive a lovely email in response to the email that I sent out last night, which was a question about copyright. And I will just cover that quickly, because artists have spoken about copyright for a long time, and it is difficult to know, especially for beginners, what is right and what is wrong in terms of copyright and what you're allowed to do. My understanding of copyright, first of all, if you are, when you sell your work as an artist, the copyright of that work does not pass to the person that has purchased your piece. They do not have the right to copy that, put it on their Christmas cards, make calendars out of it, and distribute that. So they own the painting, but they do not own the right to copy it, which is literally what copyright is, I guess. Now, it also applies to if we find photographs in magazines, off the internet, which is now, of course, very, very common to do. Do we have a right to copy those works and then put them up for sale as our own? It is a little bit contentious. I have very strong opinions on that. I believe that it is not allowed, not legal, in the true sense of the word, to copy copy a photograph and declare it your own work, as in submitting it to competitions, selling it as your own work without acknowledging that you have taken that image from a photograph. Now, it is possible, obviously, with friends and family, people that you know in the community, you ask their permission if you may use their photograph. And 9 times out of 10, they'll say, of course you can. 10 times out of 10, it's not so easy when you find photographs on the internet. I have seen exquisite paintings in competitions that are absolute replicas of famous paintings, or not famous paintings, but famous photographs on the internet that are easily found. I have an objection to that. I feel that the input from the artist is not is not much. Yes, their skills, their painting skills are in the painting, but they have not chosen a composition, they have not chosen their colors. And there may be many people out there who disagree with me, and I am a little bit old-fashioned in that sense, I guess. And maybe it's fine. I'd love to hear your views on that, actually. However, there is a point at which you can take photographs and change them so completely that it does become your own work. I do that even on my own photographs. I don't copy even my own photographs, but I do choose to only use my own photographs or photographs from people that I know directly who can give me permission to use their photographs. So, for example, that piece comes from a landscape in Tasmania, and I promise you it doesn't look that colourful. It looks something like that. That's taken from a photograph in the same area. And you can see that I've changed that up considerably. And that's what my personal journey is. But even if you want to take a photograph and reproduce it, that is your prerogative. It is your work. It's your photograph. So finding permission, getting permission is very, very difficult sometimes if you've taken a generic painting off the internet. However, if you have taken that generic painting or that generic photograph off the internet and you are using it for the absolute pleasure of painting it, and you are hanging it in your home, or you're giving it to your sister for Christmas, that is all lovely, and go for it. It is, I would suggest that you still acknowledge that you've taken it from a photograph that is not your own. However, you are not broadcasting that to the general public, and cheating, in my opinion, is when you dishonestly declare that work to be completely your own when it is not. And so that's my basic opinion on cheating, and it is a common opinion amongst my peers and across the internet. So let's move on to methods of painting or drawing, and let's discuss how and why they are cheating or not. The first one that comes up is tracing, usually. And again, tracing a work is, my head's exploding and going, yes, of course it's cheating, but depending on what you were using it for, no, it's not. It is a useful visual aid to enable you to draw your piece more quickly, especially if you've taken it from a photograph of your own, and you trace it off so that you can work more quickly in getting the actual drawing done, the sketch done, and then you can spend your time with painting. So many watercolor artists, for example, will do a drawing onto cartridge paper, get it right, get it where they want to, and trace their own work back onto the cartridge, onto watercolor paper, so that they don't have to destroy the surface of the watercolor paper with rubbing out and that sort of thing. Again, it also goes to what are you using that for? If your kids are asking you for pictures to color in, draw me a cat, granny, nana, granddad, mother, father, sister, brother, whatever, then go ahead and trace it. In fact, I would even look for some things on the internet and just print them out. So depending on what you want to use it for, if you are tracing a painting that is an original and you're tracing it off a photograph from the internet, etc., then declare it so. If you are entering a competition or if you're displaying that work for sale, then you need to acknowledge the painting that it comes from. So again, that is going to be a theme all through this cheating thing. The definition of cheating is to gain some advantage by doing something dishonest, and the advantage obviously in that case is to pretend that you are the creator of that work, even if you've painted it in, and be able to sell it or get the admiration that you, or the accolades that you are the original artist, when in fact you are not. So use it. So tracing is very, very useful when you need it to be. In that vein, you can use projections as well and then trace off the projections. And many, many portrait artists use a projector to get the basic outlines and the proportions of a face down when they're absolutely capable of doing that, but their basic purpose in painting that picture is the painting or the color, the atmosphere, or not the atmosphere of a portrait, but the character of a portrait, and getting it, getting the proportions right, etc., are very important. Usually, if you're doing that portrait for a client, that is not cheating. So you would not be able to paint that portrait if you didn't know how to paint, you didn't understand how skin tones work and all of that sort of thing. So that sort of tracing is an aid towards your final product, and it is absolutely not cheating in that context. And yes, you're allowed to do it. Now, it's a very personal thing as well. The subject of whether something is cheating in art or not is quite a personal thing. So as much as I put my opinion out there, you may not agree with me, and that's perfectly fine as well. There isn't a canon of what is acceptable or not. As I mentioned in the email, David Hockney, who's an extraordinary artist who is still alive today, British artist, although he does live in the United States, he wrote a wonderful book called Secret Knowledge. And there it is, and what a pleasure to be able to show you that without the writing mirrored. And through the centuries, different artists have used different aids to drawing and painting so that they can get their work right. And he, through lots and lots of research and looking at paintings, looking at documentations, came up with a theory that even in the 14th century, artists used optics, basically lenses and mirrors, to enable them to draw more accurately. And I'll just show you a page here where David himself is sitting at a window so that he can see the person outside the window and draw them directly onto the page, and end up with a lovely rendering of a 3D head, whereas in pre the use of optics, the faces were quite flat and not particularly three-dimensional. So all through the ages, artists have used whatever tools were at their disposal. to be able to draw accurately, draw proportions. And in fact, a lot of paintings show inaccurate proportions for various reasons. And I highly recommend having a look at that book, Secret Knowledge. Moving on from tracing to gridding up, that's another question that comes up. And my students say to me, surely I can only use gridding up as a student when I'm learning how to do things. Am I allowed to use gridding up? Is it more valid if I can draw without gridding up? And for those that you who don't know what gridding up is, that I have gridded up this plastic document sleeve with a marker that doesn't move. And if I want to copy this painting, I can copy square by square. And I know that that mangosteen lines up with the side of the pear there, or the teapot is, half a square away from the pear, and that sort of thing. So it is an extremely good aid to being able to draw. And a fellow by the name of Albrecht Dürer, I don't know if he invented this technique, he may have, but he certainly used it to help him draw. And he actually put up a grid between him and his subject to enable him to draw more accurately. So it can be used in real life. It's not easy to do that, but it is more common to use it over a photograph or over something like that. And I'm here to tell you that no, it's not cheating. It helps you to get the right proportions, and you, from using gridding up, you learn how to observe more carefully, and you are not a better artist if you can do a painting without it. And in fact, often we use a little bit of gridding technique. You might put your pencil up in the air, and I'm trying to work out the backwards of the painting. Put your pencil up vertically to check what angle your background is, or something in your what you're trying to look at. You hold this pencil out in front of you, and you can check it vertically or horizontally, and check whether your how the lines of what you're looking at compare. And in essence, that horizontal pencil or vertical pencil is one line of a grid, a vertical line of a grid or a horizontal line of a grid. So you are constantly using tools and aids to help you with what you are reproducing, regardless of whether you've actually got a grid. Manipulation on a computer has come into the mix in terms of what is cheating. As our technology gets better and better, we have incredible tools on our computers, on our tablets. There's a wonderful program called Procreate, which is on Apple, on iPads. Autodesk I use on my Android tablet. So there's lots and lots of programs which enable you to draw, but within each program you can get aids to help you with perspective and horizontals and all sorts of things. And not only that, you've got wonderful tools like a bucket filling a particular shape with paint, etc., etc. So it is yet another medium that we can use to draw with and to help us with our drawings. And again, that is not considered cheating. You are still the originator of the work. If you've put a photograph in and you've put another layer over it and you've traced it completely, and then you copy all the paint in, etc., etc., it's where do you draw the line? When is it cheating, and where, and when is it not? I'll leave that one for you to decide. Is that cheating or isn't it? It's really a difficult subject. Most of the time, in my opinion, of course, when you are drawing, when you are painting, you are doing that for absolute pleasure. And if you are doing that, then you are not cheating. The only cheating comes if you are dishonestly declaring work that is copied from somebody else as your own, and you need to declare that. And very often you will see a painting and you look at the painting and you go, oh, that looks like a Cézanne style painting, or that looks like I've seen a painting in a doctor's office by Chagall. No, sorry, not a real Chagall, but the style of Chagall. And in the signature, there is a little note saying after Chagall in quotation marks, which means that the artist is acknowledging that he is painting in the style of that artist. So he wasn't even copying a painting, he was copying the style and chose to put after Chagall. So that is the convention. If you are painting and copying a painting or styling it after a particular artist, you write either under your signature or even on the back, after, and then your artist name. So that's a little bit about my opinion on cheating. If you are in my email list, you will have got some lovely links to other articles that I have found. So I often do some research before I come on these live programs, these live videos, because I'd like to know what other people think. And so if you haven't received that email and you would like to, pop along to my website, karenfrankel.com, as simple as that. There's no .au at the end, and click on Get Drawing. So join in the conversation over email. I do send a little bit extra in my emails that you don't get of these videos. I'm thoroughly enjoying these videos. Now that I've started them, I'm getting into the groove. I hope this video, the quality of this video is better than the last time I used my computer. I have upped my the speed with my internet provider, so hopefully that has improved the quality. I'll watch it back with crossed fingers. Just letting you know that next week will be my last live video for the year, and I'll come back in January. However, I will still be sending emails with good links in them, good information, maybe a challenge or two to keep you busy over the festive season. So I will say, wish you a warm year, or not too warm if you're in Perth, when I finish off next week. So I hope to see you next week. Thanks for watching. Get drawing. Stay cool. Bye.